Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, hi, how are you? I hope you stick around. You came at a perfect day because anytime I upload a video, it's a perfect day. Anyways, for today's video, we've got an album review. I know we have not done an album review in a hot minute. I know I was supposed to film an album review on Lord's Solar Power. Spoiler alert, I give it a 7 out of 10. We will look past that because today's album review is of somebody that, oh my goodness, I've been wanting to do an album review of theirs for such a long time, and we finally have that album to do the review of today. Yes, I am talking about Kacey Musgraves' new record, Star-Crossed. I just got around to listening to it. It's been such a hectic time in my life right now that I can't really listen to albums when they come out anymore because I'm always so busy now. But I took my time. I dedicated a day just to listening to the record, and I've got a lot of opinions on this record. I've got a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas. I have written down a ton of notes here that we're going to get through in this video. There's a lot I'm going to unpack about this record. However, I do want to mention on this video, I have not seen the film as I'm filming this. I have not seen the film on Paramount Plus just yet. If you want me to, I can also upload a video reviewing the film too. However, I don't have to, I don't want to. It's all up to you guys. But today we're going to be focusing solely on the record, solely on the music, the lyrics, the instrumentals, everything that has to do with this record. So if you want to know my thoughts and opinions, my overall rating of this review, then keep on watching. So let's start with the elephant in the room. Star-Crossed, in my opinion, was the only departure possible from Golden Hour. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can all remember the Golden Hour era as an era where everything felt happy, everything felt beautiful, and everything felt incredible because it was a beautiful, happy, incredible record that just transported everyone into a completely different world. And I think the Golden Hour record in its own will forever be a body of work that I will always look back at, that I will always go back to and listen from start to finish and have it feel like the very first time, have those tears be as authentic as the first time I ever heard them. So that record is special in its own, and it'll forever be special, and it'll forever cement an era of Kacey Musgraves' career. However, with this particular record, with Star-Crossed, it is a record that has a heartbreaking concept. It is obviously a divorce record. It's a divorce record, has a heartbreaking concept. However, there's many layers to this record. This is those bodies of work that I just yearn for every single year. It is a conceptual body of work. It tells a true story from start to finish, and I think this is one of the very few records that has been released this year where I think it's going to be required for you guys to give it more than one listen to fully be able to grasp on every single element, on every single aspect, to fully grasp on the story that Kacey is trying to convey with this 15-song body of work. It is that complex. It is that, I wouldn't say cryptic. It's not cryptic, but it is, you know, it's complex. There's some things to decipher. There's some things that go over some people's heads when they first listen to it. I know there's definitely some things that went over my head, and when I listened to it the second time, I was finally able to grasp on those things, and I was finally able to grasp on what she was trying to say. And like I said, this is one of those bodies of work that I'm always so excited about. It's a conceptual body of work that depicts the realities of divorce, falling out of love, and picking yourself back up. This is the kind of record that isn't, how do I put this? See, here's the thing. When obviously an artist goes through a public breakup, whether that is the breaking up of a relationship between just a couple, or there was a marriage involved, or there was years and years of a relationship involved, no matter how long that relationship was, or no matter what kind of sacred or legal bonds there were in that relationship, when an artist goes through something like that, you can only ever expect them to put out a record depicting that sadness, depicting that pain, and solely depicting hurt. The hurt and the feelings they go through over the loss of a relationship, over the loss of love, over the loss of a companionship, over the loss of a sacred bond between two people. And Kacey Musgraves did touch on this in this record. However, she touched on so much more with this record. She didn't only stick to writing about the loss and the pain that was falling out of love with somebody who you were married to. She spoke about every single element and every single aspect and painted a realistic depiction of what it is going through divorce. Not just actually falling out of love with somebody, but also what happens after you fall out of love with somebody. What happens after you sign the papers? What happens when you have this house you built with somebody all to yourself? What then goes on in life? How do you pick yourself back up? How do you either put yourself out there or build yourself back up into a completely different person without the required dependency of somebody else? And that's exactly the kind of record that Kacey did. And it completely threw me off, I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard it, because obviously Kacey advertised this record as it's what did she say? It's like crying autumn season, or it's like sad girl autumn season. You're gonna cry, everyone's gonna cry to this record. So I was like expecting this gut-wrenching record that was going to leave me just with blurry eyes the whole time. And I'm gonna be honest, that didn't happen throughout this record because it was so complex, and I was focused more on decrypting and deciphering this record rather than letting the emotions truly get to me on the first listen. And then when I listened to it the second time, I kind of loosened myself up because I knew the lyrics, I knew what I was getting myself into, and I let myself feel everything. And when you let yourself feel everything with this record, it's such a unique and beautiful experience. And I think it's something that very few artists can deliver with a record. And the beauty about this record is that it still utilizes some of the whimsical and ethereal atmosphere that made Golden Hour special. However, she utilizes it in a way that paints a completely much more drastic image than what she did with Golden Hour. And like I said, this record is not just simply another heartbreak record. This is a record that talks about somebody who fell out of love with someone that they had a sacred bond with. They fell out of love, they got divorced, and now it's time to put yourself back out there in the world, to pick yourself back up, to create a life of your own, to have to fend for yourself once again, and to explore the world as a single person in their 30s, and to look and to be able to look back in those times, either cry about it or feel resentment about it, or just look back at it and just keep moving on with your life. And that's a really complex record, and like I said, that's not something that most artists are capable of doing. Now, I have seen some people say this could potentially be Kacey Musgraves' Lemonade, and personally I would agree, because this has around the same complexities that Lemonade did, because Beyonce also painted a true depiction of what it was to go through infidelity, and she painted it in the most unique and raw and brutally honest way that she possibly could. And it was so gut-wrenching and it was so jarring to not only hear the body of work but see the body of work with Lemonade. And Kacey Musgraves, I don't know if that was her mission, or if that was what she wanted to do, or if that wasn't what she intended of doing at all, but to some degree she did that. And this solidifies Kacey as a true albums artist. She isn't a singles artist, because if you think about it, we didn't really get that much to prepare between when she announced the record to when it came out. We got like less than a month to prepare for this record, and there wasn't this big promotional era of going on Jimmy Fallon, going on Jimmy Kimmel, going on Colbert, and performing in all of these TV shows. She just announced it, released some songs, probably a video or two, and then the album came out. So this solidifies her as an albums artist, and this record truly is a record that is required to be listened to from start to finish. I also wanted to discuss the final song on this record, which is called Gracias a la Vida, which is written by Violeta Parra, which is a Chilean artist. And I didn't know much about this artist, and I didn't know much about this song prior to this record. I just, when the track listing came out, I saw the title, I was like, that's really weird. Is she gonna sing in Spanish, or is the title just in Spanish? And then I heard the song, and then Kacey talked about, sort of the background of this song and what inspired the original artist Violeta Parra to write this song, and to, discover that this was the last song she wrote, and that this song was pretty much a suicide note, because that song was the final song on her final record before she committed suicide. So, you know, you put two and two together and it's like this was her suicide note. This was her saying goodbye to the world. And gracias a la vida means thank you to life. And, you know, the lyrics in that song are so powerful and they're so profound. And Kacey gave it a completely different meaning, and she completely modernized the song and she gave it her own unique artistic twist. You know, when you listen to the song, it's almost like you're going from it's like you're going through every era of music, or like you're traveling through time with this song. You're going from the past all the way to the present, all the way to the future. And it's a really beautiful artistic take on this song that is so heartbreaking, so gut-wrenching. It really just pierces your heart. And, you know, I think it was the best way to end this record, because you start from Star-Crossed talking about painting a scene about two lovers falling out of love, to then, you know, finishing the final song with Gracias a la vida, thank you to life for everything you've given me. It's almost like a record of, you know, you're at rock bottom, the only way to go is up. And, you know, this is the kind of songwriting, this is the kind of artistry, this is the kind of lyricism not only comes out of women who are potentially legends. And who is the biggest country legend of them all right now and will forever be? Well, that's Miss Dolly Parton. So could we say that Kacey is the next Dolly Parton? Potentially. You never know. Like, takes a ton of twists and turns. You never know. Kacey paints beauty and pain and ache in only a way she can. And, you know, I was taken aback by the record, to be completely honest. I truly was. And then listening to it more than once, you know, I felt really connected to this record. You know, I've personally never experienced divorce, and I've never experienced heartbreak, but, you know, it's really easy to empathize with somebody when they paint a truly vivid picture of what's going on in her life, with the lyricism, with the music, with all of the elements that go into creating a record. And, you know, it's a magical body of work, and Kacey Musgraves simply just creates magical bodies of works, and her records are worth the wait. Her records are always worth the years it takes to make, and that's why some of my standout songs are Cherry Blossom, Justified, Breadwinner, Hookup Scene, and Gracias a la Vida. And I truly recommend each and every one of you, if you have not listened to this record, to definitely give yourself an hour to sit back and relax to this record and really take in the emotion, really take in what she's trying to convey, and maybe give it a second listen if you need to truly grasp on what this message is about and what the whole record is about. And that is why I give this record the overall rating of 9.5 out of 10. Anyways, that is it for today's album review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something out of it. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts and opinions on this record. What did you think about it? I'd love to know your thoughts. And as well, subscribe, because I'd love to see you back here if you are new here. And I will see you next time for another video. Goodbye.